Hi, and welcome back. We appreciate you joining us for another in the Bosch Thermotechnology series of educational videos. My name is Chaz Karen. Today's video, we'll discuss our Bosch approach to hydronic heating. Hydronic heating uses the Greenstar series of boilers. The Greenstar series of boilers is one basic chassis with multiple configurations. The advantage of having one basic chassis and multiple configurations for the contractor is that it simplifies the understanding of a boiler, whether it's a small home or whether it's a large home, all using the same basic chassis. This gives us countless applications off of that single chassis and great proven reliability. The Greenstar series of boilers is actually 18 distinct models, all of these with varying capabilities designed off of that one basic simple chassis, simplifying the installation and servicing process and understanding for our contractors. All the while, these modifications to the boiler provide superior comfort and energy efficiency for the end user. The basic model, the original configuration for the Greenstar boiler, was wall-mounted. Wall-mounted boilers, we know, is a very popular European design. The heat-only boilers start with a 57,000 BTU configuration. 57,000 BTUs for that smaller home, perhaps a bungalow or maybe a townhouse. The next size is a nominal 79,000 BTU input, the Greenstar 79. Then we go to the Greenstar 100, Greenstar 131, and Greenstar 151. These heat-only boilers are designed for space heating. Domestic hot water can be produced with these boilers, but will require an installer-provided indirect water heating tank. As we take the cover off, we can look inside of the cabinet, and inside of the cabinet, up at the top, we see our modulating fan. That fan is driven by an ECM motor. That's what gives us our turn-down ratio for the boiler. We also include a stainless steel burner assembly. The heat exchanger itself, or the heat cell, is an aluminum silicone magnesium alloy. The circulating pump, which is behind the Hydronic 3, inside of the cabinet, is for the primary loop, the boiler loop in a primary-secondary piping situation. The wall-mounted lineup then continues to discuss Combi boilers. For the Combi boilers, we start with the Greenstar Combi 100, again a nominal 100,000 BTU input, then increases to the 131 and then the 151. Combi boilers obviously provide space heating. Additionally, the Combi boilers provide domestic hot water, all in that small wall-hung package that provides the domestic hot water via a stainless steel plate exchanger. Inside of the cabinet, up at the top, we see an expansion vessel. This expansion vessel is designed to improve durability for the combination boilers. We see the same modulating fan and stainless steel burner. We see the same aluminum silicone magnesium heat exchanger. On the Hydronic 3, the digital display, the system pressure gauge, heating set point, and domestic hot water set point, and an optional space for the optional FW200 outdoor reset controller. With the cover off inside, we can see the location of that circulating pump that was behind the Hydronic 3. And then behind that is the stainless steel plate exchanger on the Combi boiler. The gas valve, and then the points for adjusting the carbon dioxide concentration in the flue gases to maximize efficiency. The wall-mounted lineup then continues to include this series of P boilers. This is two boilers, the Combi 100P and the Combi 151P. The P boilers have the same capacity for domestic water production or for heating as the full-featured boilers. The difference is it's designed to be more customized by the contractor. The contractor will have to put some thought into what aspects he's going to use of the boiler and what accessories he's going to need to successfully install the boiler. In doing this, it allows a more custom installation, and in many cases will provide a lower initial investment for that cost-conscious consumer. Looking inside the Greenstar Pro model, you notice that one of the cost-cutting measures is the fact that it does not include the expansion vessel on this Combi unit. But it does include a pigtail, 110-volt plug-in. This is not a hardwired situation for this boiler. For all of these wall-mounted boilers, they will need to be piped primary-secondary piping. Primary-secondary piping ensures that we are able to extract all of the BTUs from the boiler and deliver them to the heating system. Regardless of whether we're using circulators for the individual zones or whether we're using zone valves and a single circulator. When we go to multiple zones, the wall-mounted boilers will need to be piped primary-secondary. Which then brings us to our latest introduction for the Bosch Greenstar range of boilers, and that's the floor boiler. The floor boiler has heat-only boilers. The sizes for the heat-only boilers mimics the wall boilers at 57, 79, 100, 131, and 151,000 nominal BTU input. These boilers are designed for space heating, and again, anytime we want these for domestic hot water, will require an installer-provided indirect water heater. With the cover off, we can see that there is an internal combustion cover which seals all of the combustion components separate. With the cover off, look inside and see some of the differences, including that the gas connection is now down lower to the floor than the wall-mounted boiler. The supply and return are also at floor level, much more similar to where they would have been located on a classic cast iron boiler on the floor. And also included are leveling legs to ensure that this boiler sits level regardless of any uneven basement floor. And a very important thing which is included with the floor boiler is integrated hydraulic separator. This integrated hydraulic separator is your primary secondary piping or your low loss header. This low loss header ships with a plug in place which disables the primary secondary piping. In order to engage the primary secondary piping, the plug comes out, and that's simply removing a cap from the end of the header, removing the shaft and the plug from the cap, and then replacing the cap back onto the header. This engages the low loss header or primary secondary piping capability for the floor standing Greenstar boiler. The floor standing Greenstar boiler also have combination units. The combination units start at 100,000 BTUs, the Combi 100, and the Combi 131, and the Combi 151. These Combi units, one small box sitting on the floor, provides heating, hydronic heating, as well as domestic hot water using that same plate exchanger that we saw on the wall-mounted boilers. Again, with the cover off, the same combustion door, with everything opened up, we see an expansion vessel configured the same way it's configured for the wall-mounted boiler. Additional things that we can see with the floor-mounted version of the Greenstar boiler, we see the gas connection, the supply and return, down lower to the floor, the leveling legs. We also see the expansion vessel, and more importantly, the domestic cold water supply and hot water outlet on the right-hand side of the cabinet for the floor standing Greenstar boilers. The heat cell, the heat exchanger, where we're taking the energy from the burning gas and transferring it to the system, is an ASME approved exchanger. This is a pressure vessel. And again, it's an alloy of aluminum, magnesium, and silicone. And it is poured as a single casting. It is one solid and continuous piece of aluminum. Very thick walls with no welds or seams adds to the durability of this heat exchanger. Additionally, aluminum offers higher flexibility than stainless steel and more open water passages, which reduces the load on the primary circulator. A polymer coating prevents damage and buildup on the combustion side of this heat exchanger, which allows for 5-year service intervals for opening and cleaning this boiler. Naturally, as with any combustion appliance, there is an annual inspection, but as far as for opening the boiler, taking it out of service, and cleaning it, That is a 5-year interval. Over 2 million of these units have been installed since 2001. That's a lot of a track record. We are so confident in this track record that for the full-featured Greenstar boilers, we offer a 10-year full warranty on the heat cell, limited lifetime warranty on that same heat cell after the 10 years, 5 years on parts, and 5 years on labor. Looking at the performance details, Combi 151 has the ability to produce 4 gallons of hot water a minute at a 72-degree temperature rise. What does this mean? Simply, if the water's 50 degrees coming out, you can get 4 gallons a minute at 122 degrees. The 131 has the capacity for 3.2 gallons per minute, and the 100 has a capacity of 2.65 gallons per minute. Again, these are all ASME approved heat exchangers. They are pressure vessels and include the 3-speed Grundfos pump for the boiler pumping or the primary loop. Integrated expansion vessel, 3.17 gallons, included on all the Combi units, the full-featured Combi units. The P boilers do not include that expansion vessel, and an expansion vessel will have to be provided by the contractor. Venting, accomplished by PVC. You can use 2 or 3-inch venting. You can also use polypropylene. We have 2 options for outdoor reset control or weather compensation, the FW200 or the CT100. As we talk specifically about venting, we have a host of materials available and a lot of flexibility, up to 100 feet of exhaust plus 100 feet of air intake on 3-inch PVC. Materials, we can use the flexible polypropylene or the concentric polypropylene with an adapter. So why the Greenstar? Superior design, standardized components. The aluminum magnesium silicone alloy heat exchanger gives extreme durability and phenomenal energy transfer. The stainless steel plate exchanger is the same across the entire range of Combi units, providing domestic hot water. The new gas conversion kit is much simplified and allows much easier conversion from a natural gas unit to a propane unit. And then fully modulating fan assembly is positioned and functions the same on all of the units. Though the fan size is not the same and will vary depending on the BTUs of the unit, the location and the function is the same. Which brings us to controls. And controls are sometimes the most important part of the boiler. This is the interface that the consumer is using to interact with their boiler. This is what provides them their comfort. And properly set up controls drive the efficiency of the boiler. Our controls include the optional FW200 outdoor reset controller. Outdoor reset simply is the use of outdoor temperature or the monitoring of outdoor temperature to modulate the supply temperature of the boiler. On colder days, the boiler drives up the supply temperature to the heat emitters. On less cold days, it'll supply a slightly cooler temperature. All of this to drive efficiency of the boiler while maintaining comfort for your customers. Another series of controllers are our comfort room controllers. Again, these are hydronic controls that are load compensation or indoor reset controls. These simply look at the indoor temperature, compare the indoor temperature to the desired set point, and when there is a huge differential between that desired temperature and actual indoor temperature, it drives up the supply temperature and modulates that supply temperature back down as the indoor temperature approaches the desired set point. These are all digital communication controllers that are Bosch proprietary. The CRC100 and the CRC200 can be used with the CZM for multiple zone homes. The CZM will allow for a total of 8 zones by using 3 separate boxes. Again, these are digital control boxes that will drive either zone circulators or zone valves. depending on the setup of that particular control. Our CT100 is a Wi-Fi enabled hydronic thermostat that uses outdoor reset. Wi-Fi enables the consumer to monitor their system while they're away from home. An additional control that we have introduced is the BCC100. The BCC100 is another Wi-Fi enabled heating and cooling thermostat that works with all Bosch equipment and over 90% of all HVAC equipment in North America, again allowing the consumer to monitor the conditions within their home remotely via the internet. Thank you so much for your attention. I hope this information is useful. If you'd like additional information, use our website, bosch-climate.us. If you need true technical support, give us a call, 800-283-3787, or to find distributor information, you can use that same phone number. Again, my name is Chaz Karen. I sincerely appreciate you listening in, and I look forward to talking to you real soon. Have a great day. Thank you.